What's happening, Harry? As normal, we're just going to wait for some people to join on, and then we're going to do our thing as normal. Magic. Crested Geckos, just had a good conversation with you. I'm always late, got to be late. Tom French, one of my boys in real life. Well, non-gecko friend. SP Geckos. SP's got some stunning geckos available. Give her go and check her out. C&M again, stunning geckos. These people, I've seen their collections, so they're crazy. Winter Meadow Geckos. What's happening? Don't you start, Tom. So what we're going to do today is I always let people come in and do their thing, rush through my pickle soup. But we're going to be talking about African fat tails today. African fat tails is something I don't work with, so I ain't going to have the greatest advice with the African fat tails. But we're going to ask Joe some questions. We normally get a lot of people asking about fat tails. I've owned one, didn't get on with it, rehomed it. That was it with me. It's going to be a shorter live than normal because we got a live tomorrow as well with Junior's Geckos. So that one will go on maybe for a bit longer than this one. Rushed through my pickle soup. I didn't know pickle soup was a thing. But as most of you know, we put all of our lives audios onto Spotify, so basically like a podcast. And last night we got, I think it was either 45 or 46 downloads. I know it sounds like, oh, it's not much, but that's quite a lot. Like considering, I think I uploaded my last live, I think it was around about 5 o'clock. So to have 46 people tune in is huge. And these can be listened at any point. And normally when you listen to one, you listen to the other. And I thought it was good because I know a lot of people are working and they can just put the headphones in and listen to it. But with the lives like these and YouTube, they can't really watch a YouTube while at work. What's happening, Chloe? So yeah, so we're going to be getting Joe in. I don't even know if Joe's in this chat. Are you in this chat? Are you viewing Joe Heale? Because I know he had to sort the dogs out or something. Here he is. So I don't normally ask this, but how's everyone finding the lives? You know, I don't want to run out of material. I don't want to show all my geckos. I want to start getting some cresty people on. Get some people that specialise in certain things like striped geckos and things like that. Joe's on both accounts. That's probably so you can see the comments as well. What's happening, Stephen Perry? Miss you, mate. I miss your honey on my courier runs. The honey you used to give me. So as normal, these are going to go on YouTube and Spotify. So yeah, whoever misses this, or if you've got to go out and come back, they're always gonna go up. Always look forward to the lives. I appreciate that. I get a lot of good feedback. You do get the odd occasion people that think, oh, why the hell are you doing that sort of thing? But you know, I enjoy it. Everyone else is enjoying it. I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. So that's what matters. I'll drop you a jar at Donny. You come into Donny, Stephen? I will. Make sure, like, if you see me, come and give me a big kiss. Because I used to, people like yourself. It used to make me want to do it, sort of thing. Like, yeah, seeing Chloe's mum. Do you know what I mean? Just makes up your day. But anyway, what we'll do. Yeah, Chris. Yeah, they're great to watch. I appreciate it. I've got all I'm going to say is. I've got some outstanding people booked up. So some really, really good people booked up. So be prepared. This is something I want to keep doing. I want to start making more. I want to start doing some more trios. I want to see if I could do a live at Doncaster show for people that can't come. I know I ain't going to be able to record people's tables with prices and stuff like that because of, but just to show people the how it looks, how it's laid out and things like that. So I'm planning on doing something like that. I know Dan's even thinking of doing a video, so we'll work that out. But no further delay. We've got some questions revolving around African fat tails. I know a lot of people here are leopard geckos like myself, but African fat tails are, in my opinion, are going to be going by what I've seen with Barry Gardner, Bubba's geckos. There's some incredible morphs popping out now, and I think they're going to be huge. Anyway, we'll get Joe in and take it from there. It's not going to be as long as it normally is. Just a little short one for a Thursday. Again, we've got a live tomorrow, Juniors Geckos. We're going to be talking clowns, various tangerines, purple heads. I know he's got some other stuff, so we're going to be talking with Juniors. Got some great stuff. But let's get Joe in. So I'm inviting you now, Joe. So Healeo. Let's invite him in.
Like one.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How you feeling?
Other than, as you could say, a little bit red and dry.
Can I just say one thing before we start? Dan showed me a picture. That katsu curry was better off in the bin.
Yeah, to be fair, it looked a mess, but it tastes great.
Yeah. Anyway, how you been? You good?
Yeah, obviously, from what I've told you, my day's been like. So I'm all right, but yeah, I'm just knackered, mate.
Yeah.
How are you? You all right?
Good, mate. Same as you. We're doing a lot of properties for the refugees with the Afghanistan thing. So we've been absolutely flat out. I think this country, I think we're bringing in like 15,000 or something. So we've got to try and get, let's say, round it up. We've got to get like 10,000 properties. Not just me, but a load of us. So yeah, shut your door, Joe. So anyway, most of the people that are going to be listening to this are obviously live, YouTube and Spotify. So Joe's probably going to be showing some geckos. So if you are on Spotify and you do hear us waffling on saying, "Oh, that looks nice," you can watch the video on YouTube. But no further delay. First question, as always, Joe. And I know you asked this yesterday. How did you get started? What got you into the hobby? Yeah.
I didn't know if you'd actually finished the sentence. Yeah, so obviously I'm not gonna waffle as much as yesterday. Like, obviously I'm not. Here we go. Just Jay adding me in things and mentioning and all that nonsense. So yeah, when I was 9, I went to a party that was a friend's. It was like a reptile kind of party to like teach you about just an experience in a way. There was a royal python, a bearded dragon, possibly a chameleon. Obviously, this is a long time ago, and obviously leopard geckos, of course. So that was the first time I ever encountered a leopard gecko. And at the time, as a child, I had like, regular pets. As a kid, would like a hamster, rabbits, guinea pigs. Yeah. My dad was a bird hobbyist, so at least 200 odd birds. So yeah, I had all the basic pets, but went to this party, come across a leopard gecko, and I was just like, I want one of those. So I came home.
I want one, and I want one now.
I want it. So yeah, I came home, as you do as a kid or whatever. You're like, oh, mum or dad, I would like one of these. And also at the time, because I had, this many pets, it was probably me mum, to be fair, just went no. So, fast forward a few years, and I was living with me dad, and he was like, you can have one if you do the research. and as I explained to Dan yesterday on that live, that obviously at the time the internet was quite a new kind of thing. It was still really slow. There was, you know, it was hard getting to find anything.
Yeah.
So obviously I did all the basics, what needed heat-wise, you know, substrates, what they needed in their husbandry, like hides and whatnot, what they ate, just all the basic stuff. And obviously at the time, I think I explained yesterday as well that, you know, due to us not having much of the internet, I bought pet shop geckos. And as we know today, there's a lot of issues in pet shops with how they, you know, they treat they treat their geckos and their other animals and whatnot, so they're not very well kept. You'll see, you know, they'll end up with parasites, sticktail, and just in general, just impaction and stuff like that, and end up, you know, dying fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So the first couple I had just like maybe like a regular, like normal, maybe hypo looking gecko at the time. We'll say I have no pictures of this, so I can't really tell you exactly. And then I eventually had a blizzard, which, you know, started off my fascination of blizzards.
Yeah.
So I had those, and obviously, as I say, problems with pet shops. They unfortunately died maybe like a few months after having them, just due to problems as a child. Like, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, I've fed them, I've done this, I've done that. What's gone wrong?
Yeah.
And then give it a few years after that, because obviously it traumatizes you as a kid, you know, when you lose a pet. Give it a few years, and I got my adult Coco here, so I might as well show up for this live as well. And
but the thing is, you're being real. Like a lot of us did start off with getting your pet shop geckos, and they go through this. Don't get me wrong, I had this with Scott. A lot of you do get some shops that are fantastic, but the majority of the shops, it's like a vicious cycle where it's like we get these geckos in cheaply from a factory. They die. The customer gets them. They die a month later. They come and buy another one for £30 or $50 or whatever that translates to. So it's like that vicious circle.
Right. So this is, as I said, this is Coco. She's 11, 12 odd now. Come back here. She's got, as I said, pet shop issues. She's got no toes, obviously, where they didn't, you know, hurt them, or like previous owner didn't help her properly with like stuck shed and whatnot.
Nice. Yeah. Was this the one you said that was, because I watched the live with you and Dan, is this the one that was a
Chocky albino?
Chocolate, yeah.
Whoop.
Yeah, man, that's, yeah.
She's a really nice gecko, mate. Like, honestly, she eats so well. It's just unfortunate that she ain't got no toes and she just tries to climb.
Yeah, yeah. We all have that one gecko. It's like C&M. He's got one. It's called Bert, and it's literally just a hypo, and it's, I mean, it's nothing special to look at, but when you get him out, it's just the personality, and they still make great geckos, great pets.
Oh yeah, like she's, as I said yesterday, she's been through like 3 or 4 house moves with me. As you always joke about, my 300 pandemic girlfriends. But yeah, no, like, honestly, I've had it years, and like the amount of stuff, like, you know how any animal can, but especially like Leos and any like gecko, they get stressed, don't they?
Yeah.
Of like a major like movement or something.
Yeah.
But honestly, mate, the most like undisturbed gecko, I think, out of all the ones I've got and ever had, like, honestly.
Ignore Jay. I see your eyes scroll down to the comment.
I don't even know what he said.
He said 400 girlfriends, more like. So anyone listening to this later on, so in the UK we was locked down for pretty much 2 years. You're not allowed to see anybody. And somehow this guy managed to have, was it 3 girlfriends? I'm pretty sure there was 3.
No, there was no. So the first lockdown ended, and this was literally in between the first one and the second one. I started, obviously, I won't fully go into it, but it was someone I knew from years and years back, and we started talking, and obviously we got together. And then broke up literally just before Christmas in the second lockdown, and then obviously went a month or so, started obviously the good old Tinder, and then I've started obviously talking to who's my missus now. So yeah, 2.
Do you know what? I was going through Facebook, and this is going to sound so creepy. You and Natalie have been together for a few months now. I feel like that time's gone so quick.
Yeah, no, this year's gone mad, isn't it? It's like it's just over 6 months. Yeah.
Jeez, it felt like yesterday you just got together.
I know it's been a mad year, and it doesn't feel like it should be September already.
No, it's scary. It is scary.
Anyway, let's not ramble. Let me quickly just finish, because obviously, right. So I had Coco for 6 or 7 years, and then I got onto you know what? I really, really want another gecko. So as I did, went on searching on the internet. I found Chloe's geckos and I had a gecko off her. And then another gecko and another gecko and another gecko until we're here now. I've had geckos off Jay. I've had geckos off you, Fats and Racks, Gecko Park, you name it.
Yeah.
And now I've got 24 odd geckos compared to having 2 last February.
Damn. All in your bedroom.
Yes. There and there.
It must get hot in there.
Oh, yeah, I live in the loft as well, don't I? So, you know, heat rises. But I've got windows and whatnot, haven't I?
I hope so.
Why do you think I'm so red all the time? It's actually a sauna up here.
Anyway, we've got some questions here from the public. The public. So I'm going to start firing them away. I've got 2 from Chloe to start off with.
Yeah.
So we'll start off with that. So these are all pretty much African fat tail related questions. So the first one from Chloe is, have you ever been bitten by an African fat tail? I think she knows you have. And I think we all want to hear the story of what happens to HealeosGeckos getting bitten by a.
Well, even you have seen the picture because it was in our little chat. And I'll get said gecko out that bit me.
I'm gonna have to put the photo of the bite on the thumbnail on YouTube.
Yeah, probably. I'll have if you can't find it in the chat, or if not, I'll just send it to you. But I think this was possibly before I collected my last geckos from Shaz and Jay, or it was the weekend that I came down to you at Jay's.
Right.
For the original Donny weekend, I was doing, here we go, laughing away as he always does. I was doing obviously my reptile clean outs because, you know, it's always good to have fresh reptiles. And yeah, I was handling her because she's always been a bit feisty, even now, even though I've had her almost a year. And yeah, she bit me. She just went for me. And she was there just like hanging off my finger over my bed. She eventually let go, but yeah, she's a little bugger.
I don't know why, but just from my experience, which is very small with African fat tails, I find the buggers extremely, I don't know, they're like always pissed off.
So a lot of the time as like, I'd say baby, like hatchling, baby, and then maybe young adult, unless you don't hand them as much, they're very hissy. Like yeah. I've got my amalistic tangerine, which I'll show eventually. She's never hissed at me once. Never hissed at me, never went for me. Whereas this little bugger here, so this is my Oreo patternless that I got from Fats and Racks. I'm not going to do this without her going.
Is that what I couriered to you?
Yeah, this is the one that you brought to me.
Oh, so this, mate.
Come here. So this is my Oreo patternless from Fats and Racks. Yeah, she's the one that bit me, but she's doing very, very well today.
I remember dropping that gecko to you, and it was like, I think I called it a black night.
This is the fat night.
That made a face on it. That's stunning. That is. Do you know what? I don't know whether it's because I don't follow fat tails, but I've never seen a fat tail like that. It almost
honestly, mate, like these stripes you can see. These stripes did not develop until maybe like 4 or 5 months after having it, because obviously, as you saw when you brought it to me, she was solid black,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And you know, she was mad. Like, I would hope for obviously the money I paid for her, but yeah, honestly, she was so dark when I got her. She's still lovely now, and sometimes even when she's getting ready to shed, she goes that dark.
Yeah.
So she still like can fluctuate and get that dark depending on mood and whatnot as well. But come on, bite him.
He just had pickle soup, so
Magic, go photograph some fruit.
you fruitcake.
But honestly, mate, yeah, she's lovely when she's being like this. Like, I think it just might be when she's hangry, to be fair. But
they all have their own temperaments and stuff. I just find with geckos you can breed them. Normally, if they bite you, you sort of most of the time you suspect it. Like with me, for example, if I open up a male's, and let's say leopard gecko, if I open up a male leopard gecko tub and the tail's doing that, and I'm trying to pick him up, and he bites me, I sort of he sort of did tell me to go away, sort of thing. So yeah, another question from Chloe: stripe or no stripe?
Now this one's a difficult one because for me it depends on how obviously the gecko looks. Because obviously I've got a normal het Oreo, which is literally it's just banded like a normal. I've got a normal. I can't even remember off the top of my head. I'm so like shot to bits today. But like a normal male that's got a stripe on him, and he's like a slightly different color. Obviously, I'll get to him.
Yeah.
And then obviously I've got my A male who's a stripe as well, but also obviously love how A males look without a stripe because of the way the bands come together. It's a difficult one, I'd say, because obviously I've got a good half and half of stripes that I can't really you know, give.
You like them both 50-50.
I just can't make a decision on them. So my patternlesses, they're the one solid colour. And, you know, they're just a pretty gecko.
Definitely, mate. He doesn't want to get bitten by any geckos, so he ain't going to be biased. What fat tail combos do you want to work with that you don't already, and why?
So obviously I think out of what I've got, the only really morphs I haven't got are, I believe, Zulu and Oreo, like base morphs. I've got, and caramel as well, but caramel's very, very, it's not the same, but it's very similar to like A-males in a way. But I've got, other than those two, three, I've got, you know, the other morphs. Yeah. So really, if I was going to try and work with anything, I've seen them, and I've seen a picture of one, but like an Oreo ghost, and they just look like the Blizzard version of a fat tail.
Gecko Park just picked up some. They almost show a lot of lavenders almost. They're stunning. What I find that would attract me to African fat tails is, and Dave, I did see that, is the fact that there's such a big opportunity of there's not much happened with fat tails. There's not so many morphs, so you have an opportunity, and there's so much new stuff popping that you have an opportunity of being like hatching something completely new, and that would be amazing. That's the only sort of thing that would make me really want to work with African fat tails. But I appreciate them. I had one. So I got mine. It was an impulse buy. I went to Doncaster Reptile Show. I think it was Matthew Watts at Fats and Racks table went to. I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure it was 2018. And there was just a normal. It was normal, and it had that, you know, like the normal bands. And it had the dead white stripe. I really, really liked it. Got it. And the thing was a sod. It was a sod. I tried so hard to tame it. It weren't having it.
They obviously their temper and whatnot, as they are babies, as they can be very feisty, eating wise, and obviously I'll get to an example eventually with eating, because they're quite fussy as well, and they can be quite a pain to get to eat. Like my male striped normal, he actually refuses to eat normal mealworms now because I've fed him Morios. He won't eat them because he's had the bougie worms.
And what I've noticed of fat tails as well, if you get your fat tail to eat a locust, you're kind of lucky.
To be fair, most of mine do.
Do
I've got most of mine to eat locusts because I bloody hate crickets. But obviously now my problem is, out of crickets and locusts, obviously Cresties go more for crickets.
Yeah.
Which is a pain for me because I hate them so much.
Yeah. They also really, really like dubias, so that could be a better replacement for you. All of mine go crazy for the dubia roaches, but crickets, it's like crack to them. Same with African fat tails. Apparently, they apparently go crazy for the crickets, not the locusts. So yeah,
no, they hunt crickets.
Oh, that's nice.
So this is, as most people follow me and whatnot, this is, God damn it, I did it again. Now he's got stuck in my head of saying whatnot 5 times.
4-0.
Wait. Right, so this is my Amel dumpling, as most people know. She's my little animalistic tangerine, and obviously the nice little stripe that goes all the way down her head onto her dumpling-like tail.
Honestly, mate, I've seen a few Amels. That orange is almost red coming through on the camera. I don't think I've ever seen one like that. Jeez, that's stunning. And the contrast with the white stripe as well, and whatnot. That is stunning. You didn't you get a fatty off of Holly as well? That's stunning.
That's what I'm about to get to obviously explain also like how fussy they are.
Mm.
But yeah, just as I said a minute ago, she's so calm. She's more or less, she's only for mealworms now. I have tried Morios, but she didn't really take to them.
Yeah.
She was eating locusts at first because I managed to get her onto them, but every time now recently that I've tried to offer her one, she just not interested, turns her nose up. Even if I know she's hungry, she just won't have it.
Hi Natalie, your boyfriend's kind of cute.
God, you're making me even more red.
What is your aim to produce? What is your main focus with your African fat tail? So what morph is it that your Bubba Geckos has just joined and he's got some AFTs. What is like out of all, because I know you pretty much got your toes in all morphs pretty much your African fat tails.
Yeah.
But what is it that you're, because I think the one you got off Lee, that one's incredible to me. But what out of everything you got, what do you really want to work with the most? Like, what is your that is the fat tail? Like, it's got to be the ML, isn't it?
Yeah. So obviously, my original plan was eventually to get an AML, and I wasn't really sure of whether I was going to get an AML male to pair with her, because more my plan was to try and obviously, as people have seen, the AML patty and like try and line breed to get to that eventually, or like produce a white out AML, because they're just they're brilliant in my eyes. They're such a pretty obviously morph, just because it's not one of those things that just happens unless you're lucky.
Yeah.
So they have to, obviously with the genetics, they have to be bred and bred and bred just to get it to happen, and obviously eventually it pops.
Yeah.
But yeah, predominantly just to one day, if the fatties go to, you know, plan for me, try and produce an AML, a patty AML patty, however you say it. But yeah, predominantly as well, as you just said, I'll get him out now.
He's a beast.
I've actually got him to lose weight because he needed it.
Yeah. While you're getting them out, Joe, is there much difference in the way of breeding them? Like, do you have to wait a little bit? Is it 2 years you got to wait for them to mature? Or I'm not too sure.
They're quite, in a way, they're quite similar to Leo's again. Like, as soon as they get to, I believe it's 10 to 12 months, like a year, you can breed them.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, let's get the big boy out.
Yeah, this one's in. Lee should have kept him. He really should. This one's incredible.
I asked him why, and he said
he was cutting down AFTs and then went and bought more.
he didn't. It's not that he didn't want to keep him. I think it eventually worked out. He didn't want him in his plans, and that he was also, because this guy is so big. Like, he's huge. He's huge. Honestly, there's a picture on my Instagram if people have seen it, and he is double the size of a Dumpling who I've just shown.
Mm.
Like, he was 118 grams when I first got him. And yeah, honestly, like, he was just stupidly big. He's just a patty male, like a patternless male. And yeah, he's beautiful. He's so calm. Like, he's a big friendly giant. If I can get him to show his little feet, he's got little white socks.
They're tiny.
I know, like, he's huge at this, like.
Oh, he's like this.
But no,
they call me Mini Me.
he's astounding. He's got this nice little just random white blotch here as well.
Yeah, he's lovely. He's lovely. Yeah, you got lucky with him. You got lucky with him.
Oh mate, as soon as I saw the advert, like, at the time, as I, normally with me, I'm just like, shouldn't really be buying any geckos, but you know what? I'll have a look, see what he's got.
Yeah.
And then, boom.
So, I know this is a bit off topic. So, with fat tails, you can't pair. It's like a lily white. You can't put a. So, Bubba could probably answer this as well in the comments. So, I know a lot of people in the African fat tail community say you can't pair a whiteout to whiteout. Is that, like, can that not happen? Like, as in, obviously they will pair. Is it a genetical mess? Do they come out deformed? Are they infertile?
I'm not completely 100% sure. I know there's an article on the study of it, like, slight study of it, but the one that lived the longest only lived 4 hours.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, not long at all. And it was, I believe it was fully formed. I think so. I have found the article before, and I briefly read, because obviously I wanted to make sure that, in future, if I got to the point where I had 2 whiteouts, because someone mentioned it, and I was like, oh, really? So I had to look myself, and yeah, honestly, it just kills them.
Yeah, the super form is, this is what Bubba's put, the super form is lethal, it's incomplete dominance, so no whiteout to whiteout. So to produce a whiteout, I'm assuming it's whiteout to a het or a het to a het, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that, or, an actual whiteout to whatever else.
Yeah.
Obviously, because you get your combos, you get, your Oreo whiteout, and, your amel whiteout.
Yeah. That sounds like similar to Lily. It's just they come out dead pretty much. And I think it's something similar. I think one did survive, but it lasted a week or something. Ghost is also a gene that causes infertility in females. They don't.
Yeah, it's really weird that it's only, obviously, you wouldn't get anywhere else, if you didn't have a ghost male. But it's just weird that, out of the two, the female was infertile. Because honestly, they would, as I said earlier, like the Oreo ghost or ghost Oreo, whatever you want to call it, it's just basically a blizzard, a blazing blizzard in a fat tail form.
Yeah. It's like NDBE. It's stunning, but the females are like they got the infertility issue. I've got a fantastic question here actually of somebody. It says, I recently purchased an African fat tail and I was told to keep it exactly like a leopard gecko. Is this the correct advice? I'm assuming a lot of people get them and you just throw it in a leopard gecko rack. I think the heat has got to be. Joe could tell you more. Any advice from me on this is probably off, but I was told drop the temperature a little bit, just very, very slightly, and more humidity.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I just have mine with a moist hide. To be fair, like I every now and again give mine a spray, but they can actually function with or without the humidity. So to be fair, like I've never had any issues. They all eat fine.
Yeah.
They all shed fine. So, like I can't really say that I've had any proper issues with, keeping them exactly like Leo's. But yeah, dietary wise, kind of basically the same, except obviously, as I said, they can be very fussy. Get her out.
So this fat tail, I haven't seen I haven't seen one like it personally. I know probably you have, and other people who work with him probably have, but this one is just, it rattles my brain.
So this is a whiteout het Oreo, produced by Chloe and Holly, who's Andromeda Reptiles, is in the chat, and I bought it from her because, as I said, they can be quite fuzzy, and sometimes, like yourself, you don't get quite on with the species or whatever and trying to keep them. And I think Holly, with all her Leos and all her pythons and whatnot, like a gecko that's not taking to anything is just stressful. And she only, I believe, wanted, like, Holly, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I know you thought she was beautiful anyway, but I never changed her name. So her name's Poppy anyway.
Poppy.
But honestly, she's
crazy.
Stunning.
Yeah. That's crazy, mate. I wish I knew more about them, but I know I have zero. Like you just said, I had one. It wasn't working out for me, and I know some people are really good at having loads of different tolls. Me as a person, when you got all these geckos, so like you got leopard gecko, I had leopard geckos, chihuahuas, fat tail, raw pythons, tokay geckos, dart frogs. Eventually, you haven't got time for everything, and everything needs different needs. Like when I go into my gecko room, they all need the exact same thing. I've got to feed them all, water them all, check their temperatures. Whereas when I used to go in my old reptile room, it'd be like, oh, I need to spray that one. Oh, I forgot this. So yeah, but that is absolutely stunning. That's stunning.
And she's, as I was saying, like they're fussy. I think Chloe just couldn't get on with the species because, as I said, they're fussy. They don't really, take to much. And I did, at the time, this was when I think I was getting most of my fat tails and my Leos as well onto locusts, Pabs. And yeah, like I let it settle in, as you do, for like a good 3 to 4 days, maybe a week, whatever it was, and boom, straight off the bat, locust. And I was very surprised because Holly had told me that she didn't like locusts. She was like, "You're just lucky that she took it straight away." I was just like, "We'll just see what happens." And I think because she had like 2 or 3 maybe, and then I was just like, I don't want to overfeed her because she was still fairly small at the time. So I didn't want to like overfeed her, so it was too much, like go into shock and all that nonsense. So I left her for like a couple of days, just to allow her to, settle in some more. And back to the fussiness. Stuck a locust in front of her, didn't want it.
I remember talking to when I used to do my courier journeys. I used to see everybody. When I used to see Matt at Facts and Racks, he did say to me, the African fat tail babies can be a right arse. They can be picky, they can be fussy, they can go long stints of not eating. It just sounds like a whole load of hassle to me. But it seems like if you've got the care and the husbandry and everything down to it, see, like you said earlier, all of yours are feeding locusts. That's to me that means you've spent time with them. But yeah, they're not my thing. I mean, like Barry Gardner's. When I see his, I look at his, and my jaw just hits the floor. I'm like, how have you got that orange?
Just like I said, it's they're Pâté males, and obviously as well as I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but the Russian line will class it as. So honestly, yeah, they're astounding. That's what I'd like to breed eventually. You know, if I get there one day, because obviously, as you say as well, and as Matt's told you, they can be a pain in the arse.
Yeah.
So, like the problem I had, pardon me, with my fatties at maybe the last 2-3 months of the season when they were actually ready, my mate would bite hold of her and just do the tail shake and just continue. And obviously, normally with Leos, they bite up, didn't they? They go for the head and then they lock. And fatties basically do the same thing, but yeah, he just nipped on the side of the belly and just stood there like shaking his tail, like, come on, man, just like
help, do the thing,
just not to be vulgar, but smash it in.
Yeah, no, I've got some Leos I like there actually. I've got everyone has that one Leo as well. Like, no matter what you feed it, it goes. Oh, you got one of them Leos. Everything I feed it, it goes so it won't ever go crazy for its food. It will like place it in its mouth slowly.
Anyway, I have one that takes anything slowly. No, Zeus jumps and snatches it. She jolts. I think it's just blizzards, really. They're just violent. Yeah, they are. I was gonna ask you, do you find them? Because I spoke to a few people. I spoke to Jay. I think it was Chloe and Ryan at Recto Reptiles. I said, what is it with blizzards and DBs? They're just aggressive. I actually have to get. I got a Super Snow blizzard off of Chloe years and years ago now. Was actually the first animal ever got couriered to me. And I've actually gave him to my sister because every time I pick him up, he opens his mouth. But whenever anyone else picks him up, he doesn't open his mouth. So have you noticed DBs, blizzards to be a bit arsehole-ish? So I know, like, Chloe's going to enjoy this one because once again, like yesterday, if you were watching at the time she asked me to get Zeus out. So here he is. Here is the almighty big old blazing blizzard het clips. That you wouldn't want up your nose for a bogey. Honestly, like Odin, Eco Geckos going for Jay's hand in that live we did with you, I would not want him catching my hand. Yeah. Because he probably leave a mark like that picture Chloe sent. Ooh, yeah. I would not want him getting hold of my hand. Yeah. Sometimes when they bite as well, Leos, they like almost do like a. It's like a small graze, isn't it? Yeah, and they sometimes like shake their head. So you must have fed a Leo and they get like they shake their head, go crazy. So if you got one that's bit onto you like that, and it's a big gecko, it's gonna leave a mark. But that's stunning, mate. You're loving your white geckos at the moment, aren't you? Especially with the Leos. Well, yeah, similar to like I believe Chloe said it in her live with you. Just her love for blizzards. Like, it was at the time when I was doing my research, when I was trying to I told people it was a shark bite. It's a really tiny shark. Yeah, when I was doing my research as a kid and, like continuing to do research and looking online for like different morphs and whatnot. And, you come across a white gecko compared to your little hypo, your little tangerine, just like, I want one. And I actually, I ended up talking to a breeder. Obviously, I don't know who it was, but they were from. It would be funny if it was actually Chloe's dad, possibly, all those years ago. But I ended up talking to a breeder in Essex, maybe about half an hour, 45 minutes away from me, who bred lizards. And obviously, at the time, I only had the one. This was before I got my blizzard I had that I lost. But my dad wouldn't just let me have one. And then obviously I ended up getting my blizzard. So, yeah. And then now I've got 7.
Yeah, they're all also like, if you're new into the hobby as well, and you see this gecko, pure white gecko, you think, oh wow. I remember when I first started and I got my blizzard off of Chloe, I thought to myself, oh, I'm going to pair that to a normal, and it's going to be like dogs. They're going to come out.
Yeah, they're going to like integrate both different colours and patterns, but it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it don't happen. Just hatched out a bunch of normals that. But yeah, no. It's one of them geckos when you first start, you look at it, you go, wow, I want one. And when they're jet white like that, nice.
This is Screech, the daughter of Zeus. I've just shown one of my only hatchlings as of right now, obviously, because this was my first season and all of my geckos were still getting to size. But yeah, this is Screech, one of my only hatchlings as of right now. I've still got 4 eggs left over from the pairing in the incubator, and hopefully some eggs should be hatching, I would hope, in the next week or 2. They're very close. Obviously I'm not checking them every day because I don't want to ruin them, but they haven't dented yet. I think she's getting ready to shed anyway, so I'm gonna pop her back, because she is, as you say, she is looking very white, and that's probably why.
I got a question. It says, will I get any African fat tails? If I'm honest with you, I don't think I will. I had them before, and I rehomed it because it wasn't for me. So I think it would be not a very good keeper of reptiles for me to go back to something that I didn't enjoy the first time. So that, to me, no, unless
I'm
something.
going to quickly wash my hands, mate.
No problems. If it was something like came out of African fat tails that was like, oh wow, that's stunning. Sometimes when I do look at Barry Gardner's fat tails, I do think, oh, they're nice. But them as a species, to me, just find them quite docile, slow, bit moody. I know I probably didn't have the best experience with the one I had, but that's just going by what I think. Like with leopard geckos, even with tangerines, if you pair 2 tangerines together, they'll come out all different. With fat tails, if you're pairing an amel to an amel, you're getting amels, and they're going to look very similar to how the parents look. Whereas tangerine, you can just or any other gecko morph, Maxo, Max Snow, come out all completely different, and you can hatch something funky, which I know you can do with fat tails, but I'm pretty sure you guys know the gist with what I'm saying. So Joe's just got loads of boxes in his room. I bet your dad walks in there and you go, oh, these are just storage tubs, Dad.
Obviously, I have explained the rack thing to him, but obviously he had all his with their little house boxes and whatnot. This is my normal het Oreo Revel.
So I can't see you. I can't see you, Joe. It's frozen for me, but everyone else can probably still see you. Can everyone see Joe and hear Joe? Okay, I can see you now. There we go. Oh, he's frozen again. Oh, there he is. He's back. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, mate.
Yeah, I can see you and everything. You're back. You're back. So is that just a normal?
So yeah, she's a normal het Oreo, meaning I think it's how it works. So one of her parents was Oreo. So then obviously she then gets the gene in her that she can pass on. So I'm hoping, obviously, as and when and once I compare her and my male together, because I believe he's normal POS 66% het Oreo. So basically kind of the same thing, I believe. Obviously, don't like take anything I say 100%. Like, I'm not an expert. I'm still learning myself. But out of the pairing, I would hope that I could produce some Oreos, so I don't have to buy one. But yeah, this is actually also the first African fat tail I bought from Chloe. At the start, I just wanted to get one, just, you know, because I'd always wanted them. Whilst obviously I randomly came across fat tails when I was researching Leos. So I always knew that I kind of wanted one. There we go. Yeah, 60 set POS het. There we go. Just got the words around the wrong way. I always knew that I wanted one, but like I said to Dan yesterday, like with my Cresties, obviously, that I've got from yourself, and got from Jay, and got from Shaz, sometimes you just throw yourself in.
Yeah.
Like you're either gonna go hard or go home.
Yeah.
So obviously I had my little Cresty, who I'll show as well, from Jay. I really just wanted to have one as a pet for a while, just to see what they're like. But other people, if they're watching as well, if you know, you keep Cresties, you know how simple they are and how basic they are to keep.
Yeah, and I find them so placid as well. They're just such a pleasure to own and to breed, really. I just find when they're babies, they're a little bit jumpy and can be a little bit bitey, but you don't open up the incubator for your Cresty eggs and you don't have them screaming at you like a Leo. Yeah, I went crazy with Cresties. I didn't realise the Cresties I got, how many eggs they were going to produce. I think I was telling you, Joe, they've pumped out so many eggs for me, so I've actually had to let a few provens go.
That's why I got one.
Exactly. Let me get, while you're sorting out, let me I'm going to get my Lily White out.
Yeah, just as you get onto Cresties, I'm quickly just going to show my last African fat tail, who's my male normal. I don't know why my phone keeps going like it's going to lock itself and end it, but that's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, right. So yeah, here's my male African fat tail, who's a slightly different colour to my female. He's more of a, I think he's getting ready to shed again because he's more of a dark colour. He's normally like dark brown and yellow. But yeah, as you've probably seen in the comments, like he's a normal one, like 66 POS het Oreo. And he's the second one I got, but yeah, he was very hissy when I got him. But yeah, he's a big lad. I had some problems with him at the start of the year, just where he wouldn't eat properly. But you also with moist hides, if people, you'd have different substrates and whatnot, you can use a moist hide. So you've got sphagnum moss and you've got obviously cocoa fiber. I actually, because of him, ended up switching predominantly to cocoa fiber moist hides because he digested a load of sphagnum moss like an idiot. So yeah, we had that little issue at the start of the year where he lost loads of weight, and I thought that this is also another reason why I changed to locusts, because obviously crickets can bite and give parasites. So I thought that was the original reason until obviously he passed the moss. But yeah, he's really lovely now. He just doesn't like to eat regular mealworms.
I have a question for you actually regarding what I never understood with African fat tail, especially with normals, is you go to the Doncaster show and you'll see normal African fat tail and it'll have those brown bands, and there'll be one next to it that says normal African fat tail. There's the brown bands and the white stripe. Is it a stripe? Is it not normal? Is it something that just hatches randomly from normals?
Chloe and probably Bubba, if he's still in there, might be able to clean this up. I don't know whether it's a specific gene that's just indifferent.
Yeah. It's like with normals and leopard geckos, you can still hatch out jungles and aberrants, I think they're called.
Yeah, just like a different kind of pattern. But
Yeah.
there's still normals. It's just a different pattern, I'm guessing.
So this is my lily. Quite a bit of white on him.
Dave, have a day off, mate.
Innit, Dave? Have the day off.
Best Joe get up to
in
10.
his reptile room, slippers on, beer, on my life, taking the piss. There she is. Stunning,
I have to be
mate.
careful
How you
because
finding her?
if you were watching at the same time yesterday, mate, she was jumpy. She was getting ready to
I
launch
didn't
herself on the
see.
camera.
I didn't see that.
But honestly, mate, she's so beautiful and placid when she's not getting ready to launch herself.
Yeah, yeah. She's stunning, man. She's lovely gecko. Lovely gecko. Wait till you see what she produced for you, mate. You'll be gassed of her. Piss taker for nearly 50 years now. I think you came out taking the piss, Dave.
Came out so we're 1-0.
I'm surprised I haven't seen no more bedroom jokes. What I really like about the Cresty, he's got that one little dot on her.
Yeah,
you said it, the one little
this
black,
little tiny black dot on her side.
Yeah, she's perfect for you, mate. Same same colour, really. Can't cut Dave off. He's the #1 piss taker. I know. I remember that time that sod made me jump out of my skin. Almost went fuck off.
But no, honestly, I'm still very, very grateful for her, mate. She's a lovely, very placid. Like I think she's actually the calmest she's ever been.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where she's finally settled in or she's just, chilling for once. But yeah, she's lovely and I can't wait to see, what she's going to produce. Obviously, what?
As you... I'm putting her back. But
Go in there. Good girl.
I wouldn't have sold her. It's only because, obviously... we're in a circle of friends. We're going to go to Doncaster together. I met you a couple of weeks. Well, not I met you before, but we was chilling for
good couple of months, mate.
Yeah. We was with Jay and we were having a few drinks. So, and when you were like, "Oh, I really want to get into them," sort of thing, I was like, "You know what? This is going to be a perfect chance." I know you said like, it has to be a red. It's got to be a red because I had a few others available. He's like, "No, I want a red." Because you had a project in mind with...
yeah, so my project, long-term wise, is that, although I love the red morph and what... Ooh, I ain't saying it. I really would like to produce some red lilies. I don't know why my phone keeps going, like, idle. It keeps going dark, like it's going to, like when an iPhone goes to lock.
Yeah, I still see you absolutely fine. It's probably because of... one of us is host, obviously, with the Wi-Fi connection, so probably mine. I ain't Jay. I haven't got Talk. I've got BT. Well, that's lovely, mate. Is that your Lily? I don't think Joe can hear me.
I can hear you. I'm just presenting.
Oh my god!
But yeah, this is my Lily White that was produced by. I think the way you pronounce his name is Loz Bogart. Down in Brighton. I think that's where he is. Yeah. Like Reptile Nation. I think that's what his shop is.
He had a shop. Yeah, I think he had a shop. I think he's closed down now, sadly.
I think he goes by like the White Geckos or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is produced by him, and I bought him from Shaz at KLG because he dropped his balls, and because it was also one of Casey's geckos and she like with Holly and Fat Tails, Casey got them, didn't really take to them, and obviously decided to sell him on, which, you know, I'm completely happy for, because he's beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
he's getting ready to launch, so I'm just going to move him one hand to the other. But honestly, mate, I'm infatuated with him.
Yeah.
It's just because he's got such a lovely like temper as well.
Stunning, mate. I'd actually say Cresties are probably the best starting gecko, personally. They're so easy, they're so placid. The majority they eat a fruit mix. Obviously, you got to give them bugs because of, you know, it's got variety up. You will get that Cresty that won't eat bugs, or you'll get that Cresty that won't eat Crested Gecko diet. But I personally will say Cresties are probably your best starting gecko, personally, and then leopard geckos, and then so on. But yeah, you scored well with that one.
Yeah, obviously with these, you can, you know, give them like heat, exterior heat. Obviously not too much. You don't want to cook them, and obviously it upsets them. Like a minimum of, what is it, 26 degrees?
Yeah, me personally, room temperature's fine. My flat's always quite warm, or if you've got a reptile room, that's perfect. Your room will be perfect.
Yeah, I had to be very careful with my baby Cresty, who I'm about to show, because yeah, honestly, like, it gets so hot up here, and although like with obviously our English, like our really muggy heat, like it's really humid as it is.
Yeah.
So like it gets horrid up here. Like even having a fan on, it's absolute. I'm going to use the English word minging.
Well, I was listening to a podcast. I listened to a lot of like Joe Rogan and like Mike Tyson's podcast, and it was actually Joe Rogan I was listening to at the time. And some scientist came on, I can't remember his name, and he actually said the United Kingdom, believe it or not, is actually a tropical island. It's not what people think it is. It's very humid. When it gets hot, everyone else takes the mick out of us, but it's so humid and muggy. That's another English word.
It's predominantly because we're surrounded by water. We're just a little island surrounded by water.
Exactly, and I think we're one of few countries that get all seasons. So we get snow in the winter, we get rain, and we get spring and whatnot. But yeah, Luke Tanner, best reptile, 100%. Yeah, they're great. They are great. I love my Leos. I think my Leos are incredible. Like with Cresties, the morphing thing, it baffles me. I'm learning so much.
Another thing that I love about Cresties is obviously it's got some shed. You're still shedding, I see. In the middle of shedding.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. Taking his hoodie off.
I'll stick he or she back, because obviously I'm still yet to find out what twiglet is. Yeah, I just love how they fire up and down. Like you could like she goes or he goes from like a dark kind of, like a moderate kind of brown, you know, like a light brown to like
most Presties. Go on.
Yeah, but like a light kind of brown to like, and then, you know, once they fired up, very dark. Obviously, if you've seen my pictures that I've uploaded recently on my post with this one in particular, she goes quite dark.
Yeah. I did see a photo of that one the other day. I thought, Jesus, that's changed.
I'm going to stick a bat anyway. Where's my spray bottle? Because I'm going to spray the shit out of it.
I've got another. This is actually the last question I got, Joe. Do you guys think African fat tails are going to be the next big thing? I'll answer first. I'll say possibly. You know, there's the opportunities endless with them, and they get, like, for example, I know I've mentioned his name a few times, Gary Bardner. He's getting them oranger, and I see people in the comments like, "How did you get that orange?" So I say there could be. What's your take, Joe?
Personally, I think it's more or less it's going to stay kind of the way it is. you know, like with different reptiles and different species, everything will have its own like communities. It's different, like, you know, people that, you know, spend most of their time either researching them or, you know, just breeding them. I don't think there's ever going to be one more than the other. I feel at the minute Leos still dominate in a way because they're so similar, and obviously you see a lot of Leo breeders. So I still feel that out of the two, Leos kind of dominate the scene. Like, understandably, all over the world, like Bubba in America and what's his name? DB Reptiles. I think his name's Dave. He's got some nice geckos over there. I've spoke to him a few times. Him, all the other just American breeders that breed Leos and fat tails. Like, there are people like me that have got a good half and half. Chloe as well. There's an English breeder, Dawn Geckos. Have you seen her?
Yeah,
She's got a really, really nice ghost called Casper.
Nice.
So, yeah, I believe still that everything's, you know, got its own community. They're not really gonna...
I mean, I've seen the African fat tail community grow massively, because when I first started, I remember to get an African fat tail was like impossible. There was quite a few wild caught ones, so they're definitely. But like what you said, bang on. The hobby is quite big at the moment. There's all, you know, a lot of people ain't gonna like African fat tails.
They're definitely on the up. Like, sorry to like cut you.
No.
But I'd say, as like you've just said, they're definitely on the up. They're definitely getting more and more. What's the word?
Readily available.
That as well. They're getting more noticed. We're
learning more.
Just in general, like, as I say, Leos, I think because of, you know, the big variety of morphs you can get in, I just feel like the community's growing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, as I just said, I don't think fat tails would take over Leos just because Leos have so much variety in them. And especially as well with the new scaleless morph.
Satin, yeah.
Yeah, satin. I just think that fat tails for now, unless something, you know, drastic or amazing happens, I think fat tails will continue to take just a backseat to Leos.
Definitely, I totally agree.
I still like both. Like, I won't like one more than the other. Like, obviously, I've just got into Crested and I'm enjoying my Cresties at the minute, and obviously trying not to tempt myself with another one, but. You know, like,
but it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. It's just one of those things. But yeah, no, like, I think they're equally as good as each other in my eyes. I enjoy them both, and I think I said this yesterday in the chat as well. Obviously, other people have different releases, like for their stress and whatnot. My geckos help with my anxiety. I'm pretty sure they help with Chloe's as well. Obviously, I don't know with you if obviously they're, as of, you know, a stress release with anxiety and whatnot. But I know that some days I'll come home from work, like today, and I'll just sit on my bed. Or if I'm like cleaning out my geckos, I'll just, you know, sit with one and just chill out with them.
Sometimes I find with them is when you have a really bad day, like we all have bad days. We have a day where we don't want to get out of bed. You have a day where you just feel like, oh, what's the point? And with the geckos, they make me get up. I've got to get up and I've got to go and feed my geckos. I've got to clean my geckos. And sometimes you feel like they save you almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, especially when I finished the courier, I hit a really bad low stage after finished my courier, and the geckos and a lot of my friends within the geckos giving me that drive, and that sounds bad, but having a healthy competition in this hobby really does help. It's like I don't want to see it as it being a jealousy thing. But like, if someone, for example, like Dave, let's say, for example, has put a copper on the WhatsApp group. Sometimes you think, oh, I want to get one like that. I want to try and get it improved. I want to try and, do you know what I mean? It's good having healthy competition. But yeah, like you said, mate, from what I hear and like I listen to Herp and Hour's podcast, it seems like a lot of people do use reptiles as a switch off almost, that's escape. But I did hear, Joe, before we cut it off, you didn't tell me this, have you got crocodile skinks?
No, so me and
I'm not again.
me and Chloe have had this little like running joke and idea also for a while that we both like the look of them. We both might possibly want to get one. There we are.
I reckon, Joe, you get the male, Chloe gets the female. Bish, bash, bosh, you're laughing.
Oh yeah, that's also another thing. It might also lead into a little project together. But as of right now, I think I haven't even mentioned it in this live. But you yourself and other people know that I've still got a sort, like yourself, like Jay. I've got to sort myself a proper rack because I've got my blizzards in front of me. I've got my fat tails and a couple other Leos to my right, and I've got my hatchling rack and a couple of my cresties here. So like, I'd really just like it if I had all my Leos in one, and obviously fat tails if they fit in the same rack, because I would like to have separate ones for different species, but that's obviously as and when I get the space. But yeah, I just predominantly want all my geckos along one wall.
Yeah.
Here, and then just a little like rearrange, just purely because I just want them all in one place. Like, it's annoying enough like having one there and then one down here as well.
Yeah.
Like if I'm cleaning or if I'm feeding, I just want, to be able to pull out the tubs like drawers.
Go to one section of your room, you got your mister next to you, and you can just
predominantly so. Just for ease, really, like going from one to the other. It's it's not a big issue, but I'd still prefer it if they're all in one rack.
Definitely. Well, we'll leave it here, Joe. I just want to say I appreciate you, mate, and I think you're a good person to have in the hobby. You constantly cracking up jokes and whatnot. There you go, Dave. You can have one on there. That makes 10-4. But before we wrap this up, Joe, obviously a lot of people on YouTube and Spotify are going to be listening to this. Where can everybody find you? What social medias you on? I know you do YouTube.
So obviously, like, I'm starting to do YouTube. So like, I want to start making other videos and whatnot. There you go, Dave.
Oh no.
Have that one. I'm HealeosGeckos on YouTube. HealeosGeckos also on Instagram and Facebook too. And that's all of social media really for me that you can find me of. So if you ever like want to send me a message, ask me about anything, feel free. I guess we can go from there now. So Dave's had his fulfillment.
Yeah. Anyway, Joe, thank you very much, mate.
No problem, mate. I enjoyed yesterday
now.
and today.
Perfect, mate.
I look forward to Donny and get the beers in.
Perfect. Well, Natalie, if you're watching this, you can have your hunk of meat now. Thanks everybody for tuning in. See you later, Joseph.
See you later, mate. Have a good evening.
And you, mate. Don't have no cat. Don't have no katsu.